Have you ever noticed that as you get older, your body becomes more sensitive to what you put in your mouth? A piece of cake, a cup of coffee, or even a handful of nuts, all of them can affect your sleep, your blood sugar, and even your mood throughout the day. And you know what? There is a group of foods that seem healthy but actually have two opposing sides, that is nuts. They're tiny, easy to eat, and often recommended as a healthy snack. But here's the thing, they're not. Any kind of seed is good, especially as we enter our 60s, 70s, and beyond. There are nuts that can help you sleep better, keep your memory sharp, and protect your heart every day. But there are also nuts, seemingly harmless, that can silently destroy your health if you're not careful. Today, we will sit down together as close friends and talk honestly about 4 types of nuts you should eat regularly and 4 types that are best avoided as much as possible. Nothing complicated here, just honest sharing to help you feel healthier, lighter, and more secure every time you open your snack cabinet. First, let's start with a nut that I believe many of us eat without realizing we're doing our bodies a great favor, the walnut. Walnuts, also known as walnuts, are not only delicious but also considered brain food. If you look closely, they look like the human brain, and that's no coincidence. Walnuts are rich in omega-3s, a good fat that helps improve memory, reduce inflammation, and is especially beneficial for older adults facing cognitive decline. If you find yourself forgetting things, rummaging through the house to find them, or having trouble concentrating when reading, eating a handful of walnuts a day, just 4 to 6 is enough, can make a big difference. But be careful, don't eat too many at once. Walnuts are high in fat, even good fat, which needs to be digested slowly. Eat them in the morning or mid-afternoon to help your body absorb them better. Now, coming to the second type of grain that I want you to pay attention to, that almonds. These are light, crunchy nuts that are perfect for snacking on while watching TV or reading the newspaper. But more importantly, almonds are great for the heart. They are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant, which helps prevent plaque buildup in the arteries, thereby reducing the risk of stroke and heart problems. I know that many of us, as we age, are on blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or cholesterol medication. But did you know that just a few almonds a day, 7 to 10 is enough, can help support your heart naturally? You can lightly roast them without adding salt, or soak them overnight and eat them the next morning for easier digestion. I once met a woman in her late 80s who ate almonds every morning with a glass of warm water and a little honey. She said, "Healthy heart, good sleep, no need for sleeping pills anymore." However, when we talk about good seeds, we cannot help but mention these types of seeds. Not good, even dangerous. And the first type on today's banned list is industrial salted roasted cashews. Sounds familiar, right? Many people like cashews because they are fatty, rich, and have a very appetizing, salty taste. But don't let the taste fool you. Roasted salted cashews sold in supermarkets are often processed with a very high amount of salt, not to mention that they can be marinated with sugar or industrial oil to increase crispiness. Once you hit 60, salt and sugar are no longer your body's best friends. They can raise blood pressure, cause water retention, and impair kidney function. If you eat that many nuts every day, you may find yourself with swollen feet, trouble sleeping, and a racing heart, without even knowing why. So if you love cashews, choose the raw cashews, unsalted, unsweetened, and eat only small amounts, ideally less than 10 seeds per day. And now that we're familiar with 2 beneficial nuts, and wary of one potentially dangerous one, I want to bring you to another example, almost the exact opposite of cashews, that's still misunderstood as healthy, seasoned sunflower seeds. Do you remember when you were young, you used to sit outside and chat while sipping sunflower seeds? It brings back beautiful memories. But nowadays, sunflower seeds are no longer just that rustic seed. They are marinated with all kinds of spices, garlic, chili, pickled plum, butter, sugar, even MSG. You think you're eating something natural, but in fact you're putting dozens of chemical additives into your body. These substances not only cause bloating and indigestion, but can also affect your liver and kidneys, especially if you're taking long-term medication. The danger lies in the fact that you don't feel anything right away. But little by little, these fake healthy nuts silently damage your body. So if you find flavored sunflower seeds in your cupboard, think twice. Maybe they're for your younger years, not when your health should be a priority. Now that we've talked about walnuts and almonds, two golden nuts for health after 60, and have warned each other about salted roasted cashews and seasoned sunflower seeds, you're probably wondering, what about other nuts? Are there any that should be included in your daily menu? And are there any that should be avoided as much as possible? I want to tell you about a tiny seed that seems like nothing special, but is a true superfood: chia seeds. Small as a pinhead, each seed packs a respectable amount of fiber, protein, and omega-3 fats. Interestingly, when soaked in water, chia seeds expand into a soft gel, which helps slow digestion and keep you feeling fuller longer. This is important, especially if you're trying to control your weight or have diabetes. I once met an old man, nearly 70 years old, who every morning mixes a glass of water with a spoonful of chia seeds and a slice of fresh lemon. He said that since doing so, he no longer feels like snacking at noon, his stomach is lighter and more comfortable. And especially his blood sugar is much more stable. Chia seeds also help soften stools, aid digestion, very useful for those who often suffer from constipation or bloating after meals. However, it is important to drink plenty of water when consuming chia seeds. Otherwise, they can absorb water in the intestines, causing a feeling of fullness. A little tip is to soak chia seeds in water for at least 10 to 15 minutes before consuming. You can add them to a glass of lemon water, a cup of nut milk, or even sprinkle them on hot porridge or vegetable soup. But if you are looking for a type of nut that is easy to eat, nutritious, and does not cause a heavy stomach, then pumpkin seeds are a great choice. Not only are pumpkin seeds delicious, but they are also rich in magnesium, an extremely important mineral that many older adults are deficient in. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels, stabilize heart rate, and especially helps improve sleep quality. Have you ever found yourself lying awake, unable to sleep, even though you've turned off the lights and drawn the curtains, but your mind is still racing with thoughts? That could be a sign that your body is lacking magnesium. Every night, if you nibble on a few lightly roasted unsalted pumpkin seeds with a glass of warm milk, you may find yourself falling asleep more easily, a deep, gentle, dreamless sleep. In addition, pumpkin seeds also help improve prostate health in men, support hormonal balance in women, and are especially good for the immune system. So, don't underestimate these little seeds. They are silent warriors protecting you every day, as long as you eat them properly and in moderation. And then, while you're thinking about those nutritious nuts, I want to bring you back to reality for a moment, because there's one more nut that should not eat that many people still use carelessly, that is roasted peanuts coated with sugar or butter. I know, it sounds appealing. The aroma of butter, the sweet and fatty taste of caramel, the crunchy texture, it's so fun to eat. But if you look a little deeper, you'll see, this is no longer a nutritious grain, but has become a disguised candy. The sugar and saturated fat in peanut butter are culprits that increase blood fat, cause inflammation in the body, reduce resistance, and increase the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, fatty liver, and even cancer. What's worrying? These peanuts are often industrially packaged with a lot of additives and preservatives, which the body of the elder lie no longer able to handle like young again. I once met an aunt or uncle who said, "I don't eat anything, I just nibble on peanut butter and sugar every day while watching TV, and I still gain weight." But then when we look closely, we realize that even a small handful, less than the size of the palm of our hand, can contain up to 200 to 300 calories, mostly from sugar and bad fats. So if you love peanuts, choose the boiled peanuts or dry roasted without salt, eat a little at a time, and absolutely avoid candied, buttered, or milk-coated peanuts. Sometimes, just making small changes like this can help reduce the pressure on your liver, pancreas, and heart. And here, I would like to share a small story as a gentle reminder. Once, I visited an old man in the countryside. He lived very simply, not eating anything too fancy. But every morning there were two things on the table: a bowl of thin porridge and a small plate of roasted pumpkin seeds. I asked him why he ate that. He smiled, tapped his forehead. Porridge warms the stomach, seeds warm the head. The answer was simple but profound. Because clearly, sometimes what nourishes a clear mind comes from the smallest things. From memory-boosting walnuts, to tiny yet powerful chia seeds, to pumpkin seeds that promote peaceful sleep, they all have something special, a quiet yet persistent ability to help your body become healthier every day. But this journey of discovery would not be complete without mentioning the last type of nut, a type of nut that many older people consider a snack, but is actually a silent enemy of bones and joints. That is it. Watermelon seeds, a common type during Tet holidays. You know, watermelon seeds are dyed with industrial dyes to give them an attractive color. The shell is almost indigestible, but many people still chew the shell or swallow it because they think it's okay. The danger lies in the fact that the red dye can contain chemical ingredients such as rhodamine B, which is banned in food in many countries because it can be toxic to the liver, kidneys, and nervous system if accumulated over a long period of time. I'm not saying that eating 1 or 2 seeds can cause illness. But if you're someone who keeps a bag of watermelon seeds at home whenever you have guests, and occasionally grabs a few for fun, this is a gentle but serious warning. As the liver and kidneys of older people become less functional, adding unnecessary chemicals can overload things. And sometimes, unexplained body aches and fatigue start from those harmless snacks. Instead, why not choose natural, dry roasted, unsalted, uncolored nuts, delicious, safe, and not too taxing on your body? And before closing today's conversation, I want to share another type of nut that I believe you will love, easy to eat, good for the heart and brain, especially after the age of 60. That is macadamia nuts, fatty, fragrant nuts, but contain monounsaturated fat, the good fat that helps reduce bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol. Many studies show that eating a small amount of macadamia nuts every day, about 4 to 5 nuts, can help reduce the risk of atherosclerosis, improve blood circulation, and even help control blood pressure. Macadamia also has strong antioxidants, helping to slow down the aging process of cells, something that any of us want as we age. I have a friend over 65 years old. Every afternoon he sits on the balcony with a cup of warm tea and some macadamia nuts. He says, that is the most peaceful time of the day, not just about eating, but also about taking care of himself with simple but meaningful things. In fact, after 60 years old, the important thing is no longer eating a lot or eating less, but eating exactly what the body needs. Nuts can be great companions, but they can also be a burden if you choose the wrong ones. Remember, the nuts to eat are walnuts, almonds, chia, and zucchini. And the types that should be absolutely avoided are salted cashews, spiced sunflower seeds, sugar butter peanuts, and colored watermelon seeds. You don't have to change everything in one day. Just pick one thing to start with, maybe swapping that bag of sweet snacks for a handful of walnuts in the afternoon, or swapping your salted cashews for lightly roasted unsalted pumpkin seeds. These small changes, added up over time, will make a big difference. Not only will they make you healthier, but they'll also help you feel more in control of your body and your life. And if you found today's post helpful, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. What nuts do you eat every day? Have you discovered anything interesting about your diet? Please share, so we can learn together and live well together. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on other valuable health content after 60. Thank you for taking the time to listen until the end. Wishing you a healthy, happy life, and always be the best version of yourself at any age.